But here he goes into why he doesn't like reform.
One thing I would say is that it is crystal clear. Farage has been for years leading the argument which has been hostile to migration, and I think that it's based on a fundamentally racist view of the world. I reject that. I think migration is an advantage for Scotland. We have a reducing working age population. We need to attract more working age people to come to live and to work and to contribute in our country. And that's an economic necessity for us, and the Farages would essentially rail against that and undertake significant damage to our society if they were able to prevail. So it's for those reasons I take that view.
Well, I'm glad that he went into that in some depth. And he really raised three reasons why he is against Farage and the Faragists, as he called them, a bit like the Putinists. And the three reasons are, and I transcribed this kind of guy I am, that the argument hostile to immigration is, quote, based on a fundamentally racist view of the world. So that's the first reason he is against reform, because he thinks just to even think about restricting immigration is racist. The second reason, he says, I think migration is an advantage for Scotland. We have a reducing working age population. We need to attract more working age people to come to live and to work and to contribute in our country. This is what we're calling the substitute immigration argument, or the replacement immigration argument. It says there's not enough conventional Scottish people being born, or in order to do the work that's needed, often to maybe even look after people at the older end of the spectrum. So the Scottish people, in his view, are not there, so they need to substitute those spaces with people from abroad. Substitute immigration. I came up with that phrase today. I think it's a good one. It's a little bit different from replacement immigration, because replacement is replacing something that's exactly similar, whereas substitute is putting something in where nothing existed before. So I'm going to start calling it Swinney's substitute immigration. And that's what he's about there. And I don't agree that any of that is necessary anyway. We wrote an article about 6 weeks ago called Swinney Betrays Scottish Students. And we'll put that out in the thread as well. And it's the same old argument, the same old economic argument, that somehow we need it for our economy when we don't actually need it. Our economy will itself adjust regardless of what the population is. Over time, it will adjust. And the third reason is that a consequence of this racism and this economic argument, if they were to prevail, then it would, quote, undertake significant damage to our society. So there's the three very basic reasons why he is against reform, at least the three that he's willing to tell us about at this present time. But there's really something a lot deeper in there, and it's because the liberal world order is changing, and the sorts of things that he could get away with saying in the past are no longer standing on their own face. They're being challenged. This is happening everywhere, all the time, especially in Western Europe and in the Anglosphere. Although it seems slow, it's nevertheless happening. And he's aware of the Zeitgeist, what's in the air at the moment. And that's what's really bothering him, is that his fundamentals are being challenged, and the fundamentals of much of Scottish politics are being challenged at the moment. And he doesn't like that. And the last thing he wants is 15 articulate people in the Parliament next year causing intellectual chaos for their worldview. That's why I say it's an existential threat to him. Existential meaning existence. It's an actual threat to the existence of his worldview. And that's really what bothers him.